Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry I'm late doing this video. This is Justin with The Grind. I'm going to start off trying to explain the whole deal between Patrick and Eric. First of all, Patrick was doing this on his own, as everybody knows. He was taking Timmy places that he had never been and doing things that he had never done. And I'm telling you directly what Patrick told me. No hearsay, no nothing. He said he enjoyed being with Timmy, that he came up with the idea because he was so broke he didn't know what he was going to do. So he came up with the idea of Timmy time. So he started making his videos from around the end of May until Eric sent him a message through a GoFundMe account that Patrick had developed for the Whitakers to be able to do all these things he was doing with Timmy. So Patrick contacted Eric and they started talking. And Patrick explained to Eric what he was doing. He's trying to make money, in the meantime help the Whitakers. But it was really more about him making the money. So Eric run down the dead talk things and things that he has done to make money, and the GoFundMe that he had set up in the past for different families. That, by the way, the families never got that money either. It's a well-known fact. So they started doing this. Patrick made his mistake by giving Eric the full control. Eric's demands was he would set up all the platforms. The platforms he would only control. The GoFundMe he would set up, he had Patrick just shut his down. And Eric would set up the GoFundMe for donations for the Whitaker house. All that was done. In the meantime, the more Eric seen in the background what Eric had been Patrick had been doing before he arrived on the scene, Eric started making his mental notes. He started making notes on stuff that Patrick was telling him about his criminal history, about already selling some of the donated items that the Whitakers absolutely did not need. And he told me that the Whitakers acknowledged these items being sold. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But he did tell me they were sold. He went to different places to sell them. He sold these items, and he told Eric about it. Eric's making mental notes all along the way on everything. Eric convinced Patrick that he could take the whole deal over, and with 1 year, they would make a minimum of $500,000 apiece. He convinced him of this. And Eric told Patrick that the Whitakers were going to get so much money for these donations that he knew that Betty or Larry would ever fight about the third they were supposed to get off of the platforms. So the get-go plan was to get Whitaker's donations through GoFundMe, them keep all the money from all platforms, and overwhelm everybody. What happened as the thing started moving forward is Patrick and Eric convinced Patrick that BJ needed to go to jail. So they came up with a plan on the telephone, because Eric was not in West Virginia at the time, that he's on his way to West Virginia, and this copper was found behind the RV, and when he got there, they automatically called the state police. It was a plan to have BJ arrested, Eric thinking that she would have no way out of jail. And the reason he did that, because BJ was pretty well catching on to what was going on. She's smarter than people gives her credit for. But you just don't spend months making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and pay somebody $600 and whatever dollar water bill and give them a $400 prepaid Visa, and that's all you're going to get. Larry and Betty was wise to this also. So after BJ got out, they both took another approach. They were both involved with a scheme. So Patrick and Eric got together. Eric had been speaking to someone else, his mother or whoever, that was aware how to get APS to move people out of homes that didn't need to be in that home. And their plan was to have the three taken out of the home and then file joint custody on Timmy. Patrick was going to move to Georgia in the same town Eric was in, and they were going to have joint custody and make money for the rest of their life. Now, what happened is during this time, Eric came up with his own personal scheme. And that's to run off with all the money. So when APS arrived on the scene and took Timmy, Lorraine, and Ray out of the house, he did a video about something. He was really mad and he was just furious. And in that video, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember right, it was like he was just going to go ahead and leave town, but he didn't. He went back to the Airbnb where he set up some other stuff in that Airbnb during that time and become friends with a state police officer. And it's the same state police officer that came to the Airbnb when Timmy was bought the cell phone and he was calling 911, and the officer knocked on the door and said somebody was there using the phone, calling 911, hanging up. So it's that same police officer that he got acquainted with. It's the same police officer that may or may not have been involved with the APS. But according to Patrick, it was. He was involved in it. Having them three removed from the house. So like I said, Eric came up with his own plan. Not just to get the Whitakers, but to get Patrick as well. It's kind of like calling the pot kettle black, so to speak. So he went and set up different things 2-day period before he left West Virginia, going back to Georgia. He kept telling everyone, and he kept telling Patrick, that he was going to set up a trust fund and have all the donation money put in there before he left. Well, he did not do that. Then Eric went to the APS and to the state police as well, acting like he was innocent, and turned Patrick in. So what he did was he went in and acted like the good guy with APS and the good guy with the state police. Oh, I got the dead channel. I shook hands with the president. I'm straight up and down. There's going to be no problem. I just want to let you know what's going on. So Patrick says that Eric actually started this investigation. That he took everything that Patrick shared with him from the beginning and went to the state police with it. Patrick not knowing all this time that this is what's going to happen at the end. But Eric knew what he was doing. See, it was a big con game. Big, huge con game. And hopefully the investigator, the lieutenant that's handling the investigation, I'm sure he's already figured all this out. Eric's a good con man. He started at the top with his lies and acting like he's Mr. Good Guy, so they would keep their eyes on Patrick and take them off of him. And that's what's happened here. That's the reason Patrick was the star of the investigation to start with. But Eric was part of the investigation just probably within days. Because look, law enforcement's not stupid. They take the whole plan and they put it all together. Kind of like Kathy over at Deep Soul does. She's got a calendar. Lieutenant Gilkison, if somebody sends you my video, get a hold of Kathy over at Soul Deep Dive. Curious Deep Dive. Curious Soul Deep Dive. And she'll be glad to make a copy of her calendar because it does prove step by step a lot of things that happen here. You know, you got Patrick, Eric cronies mixed in all this, everybody fighting everybody. The truth is the truth. It was a scam to start with. Patrick didn't love Timmy no more than he loved the pile of shit in his front yard. And Eric damn sure didn't. All Eric was is he was interested in money. He seen a money machine. Y'all remember the time that Timmy was in the shower? And he was happy? And he was singing, Mama, Mama, Mama. You want to know why he was doing that? It's because at the same time, Patrick said Eric was trying to convince Timmy that he was his real daddy. How about that? His real daddy. I am your real daddy. So I thought it was just time for me to tell this part of the story. And everything I have said here is the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth that was given to me by Patrick directly. And I'm going to share with you the reason he told me exactly what was going on there. Because when I first started talking to Patrick, I'll just run down a few things. He wanted to borrow $3,000 from me to catch up his truck payments. There were 3 truck payments past due. His truck note was like $860 or $880 something a month, and with late charges a little over $900. And I didn't give him an answer on it. Well, a couple of days later, he calls me back. He says, I'm thinking about coming down to Florida for a couple of weeks. The problem is I really don't have the gas and stuff to get there. You think you might be able to send me a little money to get there and stay at your house for a couple of weeks? And I cut him off at the path. I said, you don't want to leave town under investigation right now. If you leave town, they're going to think that you are guilty of whatever they're trying to put on you. So, everything is coming together. Everyone is losing it. I'm not trying to take clout. I'm not trying to be famous. I'm trying to get justice for the Whitakers. And we have started that process. We have started that progress. We have 2 people sitting in jail. One of them, which is Patrick, just to let everybody know, he's not going anywhere. He has 2 probation that he's already serving now. They're going to hold him on probation revocation. No amount of money will get him out of jail. He's there. He's there until he goes to court on the probation revocation. It could take him 6 months to get in front of a judge. It could take him a year to get in front of a judge. But he's there until that probation revocation hearing is done. So to all the people he's not getting out of jail. Until all of the holler hoochies, you can forget about getting your man out of jail. He's done. He's done. He's done than a fried egg that's been in a frying pan for 3 days. He is done. You can forget about him. Whatever money you gave him, whatever sweet lips you gave him, it's over with. You will not see him for a long, long time. Not unless all of y'all want to go up to the jail and marry him. And then maybe you might be able to see him. But this is my story on Patrick and Eric's scam tonight. And I've got a lot more to share. As soon as my health is better, I'm going to bust it wide open for you. I'm going to be putting stuff up that's going to be unbelievable. Thank you for stopping by the Daily Grind. Y'all stay amazing, and I'll see you on the other side.